How can we figure out the equation of a curve of best fit or line of best fit given a scatter plot generated from a table of values? So let's work through an example. So I'm going to insert a table. I'm actually going to change all the values here. So the table of values that I'm going to use, so we have negative 6.28, negative 4.71. This would be given to you, this information. Probably notice from the values that I'm putting in that we're cycling from the negative to the positive here. Okay. Now the corresponding y values. And you can see as those dots show up, they kind of definitely look like a trig function that we're working with. Okay, so we have this information. Now we want to actually insert the curve. If you connect the dots at this point, so if you click on this right here and hold it down, you'll notice if I select this right here, it's not a smooth curve, and trig functions are smooth. They're not linear in terms of their change from point to point. So you want to make sure that we just keep the dots at this point. So I'm going to go up to add item. I'm going to add an expression. So the expression, we need to somehow incorporate that table of values. So I know that it's going to be of the form y equals. So I'm going to type y, and I'm going to say y1, because if you look at the table of values, that's the y1 value. Now it's an approximation. So in order to get that approximation, if I hit the ABC button, there's a little tilde down here, so that means approximately. And that's telling Desmos that we're going to be doing a regression. If we think about it, the sine function, it has a variable out in front to represent the amplitude. Then I'm going to put sine to show that I know that it's likely a sine function. Then I'm going to open a bracket, except I forgot my k value. So I have k, a secondary bracket. Then I'm going to have x1 to show that it's the x value that I'm looking at. And then I'm going to have minus b, and then out here I'm going to have plus c. So that's going to take care of all of our possibilities. You'll notice as I entered all of those parameters here, it looks like the value that I have is a equals 1.0262. So it's essentially a value of 1. Our k value, if we round it up, that has a value of 1. And then our c value, meaning the vertical shift, has a value of 2, which you could probably have figured out by looking at your expression. So if I were to go through and add one more item, so I'm going to add an expression, I'm going to type in that equation. So y equals 1.03 sine. I don't need to include that value of x there, and b is essentially a value of 0, so I'm going to put x and then plus 2. And that black line is essentially the exact same as the regression curve that I had in the first example. Hopefully this helps and you're able to do this regression. This will work with any type of function. The key to this here is using the tilde, so this value right here, and inputting y1 and x1 corresponding to whatever table of values you used.